Lots of people in the trans community have concerns about sexual reassignment surgery or gender confirmation surgery. So in today's video, I'm going to give a list of about 5 questions that I think are very important to ask your surgeon and ask any surgeons that you're considering pursuing surgery with, in order to figure out how they do things and make sure that you're getting your goals met, and also make sure that your anxiety is being relieved. Stay tuned for more. Hey everyone, Chloe from the Chloe Connection here. Thanks for tuning in again. So in today's video, I'm going to give you about 5 or 6 questions that I think are very important to ask your surgeon prior to SRS, just to make sure that you're getting what you need. These are things that you should ask any surgeon you're considering at any consultation, or even via email before you even get to a consultation. And these are in no particular order of importance. I think all of these are important, and some of these may be more or less important depending on your own personal goals, but these are pretty common questions that I've heard. First one, what is my desired depth? This is an important question to ask yourself, so then you can ask your surgeon, what are they capable of achieving? What method of surgery do they use? What is the average depth that they are able to achieve? For me, depth wasn't super important. Do I wish I had a little more depth than I have now? Sure. But is that the end of the world? No. But you want to make sure that if you want 8 inches of depth, that your surgeon's procedures don't typically only produce like 4 to 6 inches of depth. You will end up being disappointed. You know, this is an important consideration to have because you really only get one shot with this. You know, you can get it revised, you can have revision surgeries, but for the most part, it needs to be done right, or as right as possible the first time. So if this is something important to you, make sure that you're matching well with your surgeon and their abilities. Next question, and this one is inspired by my own experience. Ask your surgeon about dilation and dilators. Ask them what dilators do they recommend that you get, and do they provide them for you. In most cases, the surgeon will provide dilators for you. That was not my case. I had to buy them on top of all the other shit that I had to do. Just another added expense. Personally, I think it should be included because it's part of post-op care. I plan on revisiting my dilation video because that is one of my most disliked videos. I'll admit it is shit. The dilators are shit. So I don't blame y'all for giving that quite a few thumbs down. These things suck. Make sure that your surgeon isn't trying to give you these types of dilators for a vaginoplasty. You want something that is closer to this. Typically most dilators are much longer than this and are hard, not bendable. I felt like I might have just broken that there. Anyway, moving on. Stay tuned for dilation part 2, but ignore part 1 because it sucks. If you have not done so already, please click that subscribe button and notification bell to stay up to date on all my newest stuff. If you find that you absolutely love this video and can't live without it, give it a big ol' thumbs up and share with everyone in the known universe. Another big concern and question that a lot of people have, will I be able to orgasm, climax, come after surgery? Statistically, most people can. But that is an important question to ask. You know, your doctor might have a good idea of like how many patients reported being able to do that. And you know, in my experience, most of them are like, yeah, 80, 90, more than 90% of my patients are able to climax after sex. Or masturbation, whatever. Some are also like, yeah, it's really all in your head, it has nothing to do with the surgery, and I'm like, that's bullshit, and that's a way of just trying to take away accountability. There is definitely a mental aspect to it, but the plumbing needs to be designed properly. If you fuck up the surgery, then that will greatly reduce your chances of being able to orgasm. But from everything I've seen, the vast majority, at least of trans women. Again, all these experiences are biased towards trans women, not towards trans men. But a majority of things I've seen in anecdotes from people, even in research literature out there, Most trans women are able to orgasm to some extent, but again, ask your doctor these questions just to ease any sort of discomfort or anxiety that you may be having. It's a big deal. It's a big surgery. It's scary. I understand. This next one is kind of obvious. Ask about what recovery is like. How long will you be on bed rest? How long will you be on a catheter? Will you leave the hospital on a catheter? I did. That fucking sucks. There's a lot of things I didn't like about my process. Learn from me. Learn what questions to ask, so hopefully you don't have to go through some of the same shit I went through. Ask questions like, when can I shower? When can I go to the pool? When can I have sex? You know, if these things are important to you, because there's different timelines and different recommendations. Usually it's like 2 to 3 months afterwards. And kind of a callback to the dilation one, ask about dilation schedules. How often do they expect you to dilate each day, each week? How long is each dilation session? When do they estimate you can move up in sizes of dilators, because you're going to get a series of dilators? You know, get the information on that. And make sure you follow it. At least for the first few months. Be pretty strict on that schedule, because that is the point where it is rapidly healing. That is the point where it can most easily close up. So make sure you're following that dilation schedule as best as you can, because some of these schedules are a little ridiculous to try to fit in on top of like life. You know, somebody wants you to dilate 3 or 4 times a day for an hour each. It's just like, well, there goes my whole fucking day. Yeah, be prepared to be laying down, sitting down, not doing a whole lot for at least those first few weeks, maybe the first month. And you've probably seen some of my videos on complications that I had for SRS. So, it's very important to ask your surgeon, what do I do? What's the process if I have a complication? Who do I call? Who do I talk to? Where do I go? How do I make sure that I get the service I need and don't have to wait 2 to 3 months to get a revision surgery for something that is incredibly painful on an hourly basis for those entire 2 or 3 months? You know, if you traveled for your surgery like I did, and you can't make it back, ask what they recommend. Is there somebody local that they can recommend, or do they insist that you travel back? And you could ask, like, if I have a complication, will I have to pay anything extra for it? Some surgeons may be like, no, if you have a complication in the first 6 months or year, then come back and it's free. I have a lot more here, but I think I will save some of those for another video. Planning on turning this into a several part series, because I think there's a lot of important things that you should ask your surgeon. And I don't want to make like a 30-minute video here. Those are 5 things that I think are highly important to ask any doctor that you're considering pursuing SRS or GCS with. Let me know down below in the comments what you think of the video. What are your thoughts on these recommendations, and any others that you think would be important to ask, important to inquire about, important to know? Put it down below. Well, that's it for today. As always, thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and bye for now.